Dear students, greetings of the day. Welcome to you all for fabric manufacturing subject. So in the last session, we have discussed about the course description of fabric manufacturing. So we have seen that in the last sessions, what is fabric manufacturing, what are the different types of fabric manufacturing, or what are the different types of fabrics available, like such as woven fabrics, knitted fabrics, non-woven fabrics, as well as the braided fabrics. So we have seen all the types of, like, what are the different types of fabrics available and what are the applications of these fabrics into the particular area or end use applications. So exactly the fabric manufacturing subject, we are going to discuss about woven fabric manufacturing technology. So out of 4 fabric types, we are discussing about this course, we are discussing about the fabric manufacturing, that too woven fabric manufacturing technology. So as we have seen that what is the introduction to the weaving technology, and as well as we have already seen that what is the need for the weaving prepararies. Once again we will look after before going to the topic. So today we will start the first machine, which is starting of the machine in the weaving or woven fabric manufacturing. So the first machine is called as winding machine. So what is exactly the winding is, and what are the different types of winding machines available, we will see. And myself, Govardhan Rao Chilikoti, Assistant Professor at Vignan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, University, Vadlamudi. So that is my introduction, and today we will learn about what is exactly the winding machines available in the weaving manufacturing area. So in the weaving manufacturing, this is the first and foremost machine for the weaving manufacturing. So once again we will see that what is exactly the production process of these fabric, that is the two woven fabric manufacturing process. As we have seen here, the basic and the first raw material to the woven manufacturing or woven fabric manufacturing is ring corps. So you people are going to study about the yarn manufacturing technology. Okay, so where the conversion of cotton to the yarn is going to be happen. So there are various machineries which are involved in the manufacturing or conversion of cotton fibers or textile fibers into a yarn. So after yarn manufacturing, so the end of the machine in the yarn manufacturing is ring spinning. So that is, generally we are using a ring spinning to manufacture or to convert the fibers into the yarn. Final stage of the yarn manufacturing is ring spinning. So where generally in the ring spinning, the ring corps are going to be manufactured, which is having a weight of like approximately 80 to 100, 110 to 20. So nothing but 80 to 110 grams of ring corp is going to be produced in ring spinning area. So nothing but 100 grams is nothing but a small package. So which is having a small, that is a small package which is having some of the yarn falls which are introduced or which are produced in the ring spinning process. Because the fiber, if you concern the fiber itself, it is not having the uniformity. So automatically by ununiform fibers we are using to make the yarn, so that obviously it is not at all possible to convert complete uniform structure of the yarn. So there are machine variables, there are material variables, there are so many factors which are going to affect on the objectionable faults or faults which are producing in the ring spinning process. So after the ring spinning process, now the ring cops are going to be transferred into the next machine that is called as winding. Now from the winding machine, our woven fabric manufacturing is started. So in woven fabric manufacturing process, first and foremost machine is winding machine. So the input of this winding machine is ring cops and output of the winding machine is cones. So ring cop is having a weight of 80 to 110 grams, and output of winding machine, the cone, which is having a weight of 1.5 kilograms to 1.8 kilograms or 2 kilograms of weight. Generally this weight is depends upon the customer requirement they want. So the first machine in the weaving process is winding. Now the weaving process is started. So what is exactly woven fabric is? As we already discussed about what is woven fabric, the interlacement of warp and weft threads. In weaving process we required two set of threads. One is called as warp threads and the second one is called as weft threads. So we required to make the woven fabric, we required two set of threads. One is called as warp threads, the second one is called as weft thread. So generally the warp threads are a set of threads is used for the manufacturing of woven fabric, and as a weft threads if we need, so the weft threads are generally used as a punch or a cone. So punch nothing but again which is a smaller package which is going to be accommodated in the shuttle. So approximately the shuttle weight is 400 grams to 450 grams. So inside the shuttle we are going to keep the pan which is having a weight of approximately 80 grams of weight. 80 grams of pan which are going to be inserted into the shuttle. Then this shuttle is going to be traveled from one side of the shed to the other side of the shed in case of shuttle looms. So the shuttle looms are, again there are number of shuttle looms like hand looms, and after that we have an semi-automatic loom, then automatic loom. So we have different types of shuttle looms in the category. So there are two set of threads, one is called as warp threads and one is called as weft threads. So for this purpose we need to prepare the warp sheet as well as in the second set of threads, that is weft. So the weft preparation also need. So the first one is warp preparation, the second one is weft preparation. So in the warp preparation concern, winding machine is the first machine. After the winding machine we have a warping machine where the single or individual threads are going to be converted into a sheet of warp into a continuous length. So sheet of warp consisting of number of threads and which is having a certain length depends upon the requirement of the fabric. Then after the warping we have a sizing machine where we are going to incorporate or we are going to add some size ingredients into the warp sheet so that the yarn becomes weavable. So weavable nothing but in weaving area the yarns are going to be divided into two sets. So warp yarns are going to be divided into two sets, while it is forming a shed or dividing into a two set of threads. What is happening is we are imparting or we are keeping the some tension onto the warp sheet, tension or stresses and strains are going to be applied because the warp sheet is moving. So these stresses and strains are going to be overcome by adding the sizing gradients into the yarn structure, so that what will happen, the yarn becomes weavable. Whatever the stresses and strains are going to be applied in the weaving machine is going to be resisted. So the sizing is one of the operation. After sizing we have a post sizing operations. Then these post sizing operations are drawing in and denting. Then after these warp sheet is going to be sent to the weaving. And in the next process, that is weft preparation process. So what is exactly the weft preparation process is? Weft yarn is going to be prepared, like if we have a shuttle loom, we are going to prepare the pawns. For example, if we don't have the shuttle looms, if we have a shuttle-less looms, directly from the winding machine, whatever the cones are prepared, the larger packages or bigger packages can be directly used into the weaving area as a weft. So there are two processes. One is called as warp preparation process and the second one is called as the weft preparation process. Now we will start what are the objectives of winding is. The main objectives of winding is, if you see that there are major objectives like the conversion of smaller packages like corbs, that is the ring corbs, to the larger package or bigger package, that is cone. So the conversion of smaller packages to a bigger packages is one of the major objective. Then the second main objective is whatever as I told earlier in the ring spinning process, the yarn is not uniform. Nothing but the yarn producing in the ring spinning is having some objectionable faults by the customer. So these faults should not be there in the further processes for the making of the fabric. Because for example, if the yarn is not uniform, nothing but it is having some thick place, nothing but, for example, the yarn diameter is this much. If we have the diameter more than this, then that is called as the thick place. So if we have thick places, by using this yarn, if we make the fabric, then what will happen? The fabric appearance is going to be spoiled, because these thick places are going to appear on the surface of the fabric. So that is why these objectionable faults should be removed in the before processes of the weaving. So nothing but before the weaving process, we need to remove all these objectionable faults which are going to spoil the fabric appearance. So that is why we have a clearer mechanism in the winding, so that it will identify the faults which are like thick places, thin places, slubs, naps. There are n number of objectionable faults. These are going to be removed by using the clearer mechanism which is available in the winding machine. So these objectionable faults, removal of objectionable faults are one of the major objective of the winding process. Now the two basic motions are required for effective winding. Okay, so to wind the yarn onto a package, we required two motions of the yarn. One is called as rotary motion or rotational motion. So the package need to rotate, then only the yarn is going to be wind. Otherwise package we need to keep hold like this and we need to rotate the yarn. So it is difficult. So the package is revolving and the yarn is going to wind onto the package. So this is the first motion which is required in the winding process. And the second, the traverser motion. So if you have observed, when your kite festival is happening, so your thread is going to be winded into a bobbin, right? So if you wind at one place, then what will happen? these threads are going to become a bunch. Then after some amount of yarn which is winded on the bobbin, then it will slip away at where you are winding. So unevenly it will be distributed. Because of that, the yarn may slip on the previous layers. So that is why in the fabric manufacturing process and the preparation of packages, these packages are very important into the further process, because if the package is not uniform, then it may leads to the yarn breakages in the further process. That is why we required a second motion, that is called as a traverser motion. So the yarn should not be winded at one place. For example, this is your package and we are winding at one place, this yarn is winding at one place, so the bunch of threads will be winded at one place. So for example, if we have a traverser motion, so there is a package and the yarn is going to be traversed while the package is rotating. So nothing but you are distributing the thread throughout the package area, so that the yarn is going to be uniformly winded onto the package. These two motions are very important. One is called as a rotational motion and the second one is called as the traverse motion. Now there are different types of wound packages are there. Now what are those? There are basically three types of wound packages available. These wound packages are basically categorized into how the yarn is winding into a bobbin. How the yarn is winding into a bobbin depends upon that we have classified these wound packages. So one is called as parallel wound package, second one is nearly parallel wound package, and the third one is cross wound package. Now you can see this image. The first image is called as parallel wound packages. So you can see that there are n number of threads which are winded into a beam or a package. So these threads are winded into like a sheet. So there are number of threads. So these number of threads are winded into a beam uniformly and parallelly. Parallelly all the threads are winded into a package. That is called as the parallel wound package. So this parallel wound package example is a warp beam, which is going to be used in the warping machine, or nothing but it is the output of the warping machine. So in the warping machine we are generally going to produce like a parallel wound packages, like whether it is a direct beam warping or a sectional beam warping. So there are different types of warping machines, we will discuss further classes. Now in the second category, nearly parallel wound package. So like your kite bobbin where you are winding into the package. And the third category, that is called as cross wound package. So our winding machine packages are going to be produced with this type of package, like a cross wound package, so that we will get the uniform package diameter, uniform package. So the surface of the package becomes uniform, so that there should not be any kind of breakages in the further processes. So we will see that what is exactly the winding definitions are. So there are some terms and definitions. What is exactly a wind? It is the number of revolutions made by the package, that is number of coils wound on the package during the time taken by yarn guide to make a traverse in one direction, say from left to right across the package. That is called as the wind. So the second one is called as traverse ratio and wind ratio. What is exactly the traverse ratio is and what is exactly the wind ratio? Traverse ratio or wind ratio or wind per double traverse are the same. So it is the number of revolutions made by the package, that is number of coils wound on the package during the time taken by the yarn guide into the to and fro traverse. So to and fro nothing but from right to left, left to right. So nothing but the yarn is going from the left to right and coming back from the right to left. So this is called as a double traverse. So the traverse ratio is having a small formula, wind into 2. So wind nothing but from one side to left to right, that is winding. So traverse ratio nothing but left to right, again the yarn is coming from the right to left. So there are how many number of coils which are winded into the package, that is called as the traverse ratio for to and fro. To and fro, how many number of coils are made on the package is nothing but the traverse ratio. Now what is exactly the angle of wind? Angle of wind is made by the yarn with the sides of the package. Okay, so the tan theta is equal to Vt divided by Vs, that is Vt nothing but traverse speed divided by surface speed. So traverse speed divided by surface speed is nothing but the tan theta. The theta is nothing but the angle of wind. Now you can see here angle of wind and the coil angle. So where in the image alpha is nothing but the coil angle, theta is nothing but the angle of wind. So theta and the coil angle becomes 90 degrees. So coil angle is nothing but it is the angle made by the yarn with the axis of the package. So this is called as the coil angle alpha. These are the terms and definitions which are generally used in the winding technology. Now here we are going to see that what is winding machine consists of. Winding machine is consisting of 3 different zones. One is called as unwinding zone, second one is called as tensioning and clearing zone, and the third one is called as winding zone. You can observe this figure where the spinner's package is nothing but ring cock. So the ring cock, which I already told, the ring cock weight is approximately 80 to 110 grams. So this yarn is going to be passed through the tensioners and through the clearers, and after the clearers this yarn is going to wind into the yarn package. So what is exactly happening is when the yarn is unwinding from the unwinding zone, the yarn will be passed through the tensioners and clearers. So what is the main objective of these tensioners and clearers are? Tensioners are to maintain the yarn tension and the clearers are to remove the objectionable faults which are present in the spinner's package or ring package or ring cock. So by using this yarn clearer and the tensioner is going to be maintain the yarn tension, yarn clearer is going to be used to remove the objectionable faults from the yarn. So after removal there will be a knotting process or splicing process, because when we are removing the objectionable faults, this yarn becomes 2. So these 2 yarn threads are to be joined with the help of knotting process or with the help of splicing process. So after knotting or splicing, the yarn is nothing but the joining of 2 ends. After joining of these 2 ends, the yarn is going to be winded into the package to make the larger package. So this is a simple winding machine where simple steps are available in the winding technology. So there are different types of winding machines are available. So these types are categorized into how the yarn is winding and what is the mechanism which is available in the winding machine. So primarily these are 2 types of winding principles as given below. One is drum driven and or we can call it as drum driven, or we can call it as a random winder, and the second one is called as spindle driven or precision winding machine. Drum driven winding machines, the first one, that is drum winder. we can call it as drum winder. Why we can call it as drum winder? We will see that. You just see that there is a weft package, nothing but there is a ring cob at the bottom side, and this ring cob is passed through the tensioners and through the gate type of clearer, or different types of clearers are there. So to clear the slabs or thicks or thin places which are present in the ring cob, then this is going to be winded onto the cone, so that the smaller packages can be wound on the cone. So now how this yarn is winding? Now there is a drum K. Here the K is grooved winding drum, where this drum is having grooves. So these grooves are very important to traverse the yarn onto the one side to the other side. So you can observe there are grooves in the drum. So the yarn is following the groove of the drum, and the drum is going to be driven. So nothing but the motion or rotary motion is given to the drum, not to the package directly. So we are giving the drive to the drum. So the drum is going to rotate the package due to the frictional contact in between the drum and the package surface. So once again I am repeating why it is called as drum driven. Drum is driving the package due to the frictional contact in between the drum and the package. So package is not having any separate driving mechanism in case of drum driven winding machine. So drum driven winding machine is having a rotary motion, nothing but directly the motor which is connected to the drum. So the drum is going to rotate. So on the top of the drum we are going to mount the cone, so that because of this frictional contact between the drum and the package, so the package is going to drive. So this is how the drum driven mechanism is going to work. So you can see here different parts. There are like creel, and on the creel we have a peg. On the peg we are going to mount the ring cob. From the ring cob yarn is going to be unwounded, and it will be taken through the slub catchers. Then after the thread guides and the slub catchers, or generally this thread guide may be bottom and top, it is okay. Now here in the image there is a thread guide. After the thread guide we have a tensioner. After the tensioner, this yarn is going to pass through the clearer. So there is a clearer above the tensioner. So after the tensioner we have a clearer. So this clearer is going to remove the objectionable faults from the yarn. So after this the yarn is going to be winded because of the drum is driving. Now a simple calculation related to how many number of ring cobs are required to make a cone. For example, simple understanding. For example, a ring cob is having 100 grams, and we need to make a bigger package, that is cone, 1.5 kg weight, nothing but 100 grams of ring cob, and we have a cone weight. We need a cone weight of 1.5 kg. Now can you calculate how many number of ring cobs are required to make a one cone? Assume ring cob is not having any objectionable faults. So 100 grams we required 1500 grams. 1500 divided by 100, you will make nothing but 15 packages are required to make one cone. Nothing but 15 ring cobs are required to make 1.5 kg of package. So likewise we can calculate one more example. For example, if your ring cob is having 20,000 meters length of yarn, and the winding machine is running at a speed of 1000 meters per minute. 1000 meters per minute nothing but 1000 number of meters of yarn which is winding onto the package. So unwinding or withdrawal of the ring cop is 1000. Now for example, if the package is ring cop is having 20,000 meters, then how many number of minutes required to unwind the total amount to be transferred from the ring cop to the package? That is approximately it is 20 minutes. So every 20 minutes, so assumption I have given here 20,000 meters is an assumption, maybe it is less than that also. So 20 minutes is required to unwind or to convert this one package to the other. Nothing but the smaller package need to unwind and wind into the bigger package. It requires a 10 to 20 minutes. So that is a simple calculations you can make in the drum driven winding machines. We will see that what is exactly a drum driven winding machines are in a small video. So where you can observe that the magazine type of creels, and from these magazine type of creels the ring cops are going to be mounted, and the ring cops are going to be pegged into the peg of the creel on the winding machine. Then the yarn is going to be withdrawable through the clearers and the tensioners and winding. So this is the simple process of drum driven winding machines. Now we will see here what are the features of drum winding machines are. Only one coil is used to make this package is one of the feature, and cross winding technique is used to wind the yarn uniformly. The package density is low, so minimum number of yarn is wound, and the package formed on soft and less compact, and the stability of the package is higher. The flanges are not required in the cone winding machine. The rate of unwinding is high and the process is easy. So these are the features of drum winding machine. Here you can observe the total, the winding machine head, and the computer and control panel of the winding machine, where the different number of heads present in the winding machine. Here you can see that the latest model X5 model this is, and you can observe that the lower yarn sensors, electromagnetic yarn tensioners, clearers, suction tube, and this suction tube is used to take the yarn from the package and as well as from the ring cop, so that the joining or the splicing can be occurred automatically. And you can see that there is a drum and there is a winding head control unit where the motor and everything is programmable motor will be present in the head of the winding. So the complete look of this winding machine you can see here. And the second case or second winding machine is that is called as spindle driven, or you can also say that the precision winding machine. So now you can see the image, the remaining everything is same, but you can observe that there is a small difference. There is no groove drum present in the precision winding machine. So directly you can see that the V is the belt. This belt is going to be connected to the motor, from the motor pulley, then the machine pulley. So this machine pulley is having a shaft. So this shaft is directly headed into the spindle. So spindle nothing but your package. So directly from the motor, drive is going to transfer into the package. So the package is going to be driven here. So directly package driven. So this is called as a precision winding machine or package driven winding machine. So the first one is called as the drum driven winding machine, and this is called as the precision winding machine or spindle driven machines. So how this, again the one more thing is there, in the drum winding machine the yarn is going to be traversed, because there is a drum. In the drum we have a groove, so the yarn is going to follow the path of the groove. Now here in the spindle driven or precision winding machines, we have a separate traverser mechanism to traverse the yarn from one side to the other side and other side, nothing but left to right and right to left. So there is a separate traversing mechanism which is available or present in the precision winding machines. Here you can see the features of precision winding machine. So here the patterning and rubbing causes damage of the package is a feature, and package contains more yarn, and package is less stable, and the package is hard and compact, package is dense, and these are the few features of the precision winding machine. So preferably for weaving area we are going to use like drum driven machines, and precision winding machines specifically we are going to use for high speed or like synthetic yarns and soft packages. If you want, then we can go for the precision winding machines, and most preferably high compact and fully cross wound packages to the warping machine and the weaving area, we are going for the drum driven winding machines. So this is the complete details of brief about the winding machine and what are the features of drum driven winding machines and the precision winding machines are. So till this I am stopping the session. Thanks for listening. Thank you.